Jim, you talked about the confidentiality of the situation and upholding it. Did you forward any of the emails to anyone?
We can't get into that right now. That's a detail in the case. I'm sorry, you can't answer that one.
Jim, how is that upholding the confidentiality if he's forwarding the email?
Again, we can't talk about that particular part of the case because that's still a part of the NCAA piece. As you know, we did several interviews, and the content of the interviews, and you're asking content of the interviews, whereas Rusty's question was a different one. You're asking content of the interviews that the NCAA has, and they're making decisions on whether they support what we put in our self-report. So I can't allow him to publicly talk about the content of the interviews. So I don't mean to be disrespectful, but that's why I had to cut it off.
At what point did you discuss this with the two players? In April?
No, you can't get into that one as well. I can't talk about that one. That's the content of the interviews that we have with the NCAA, so we can't get into that. I'm sorry.
Gene, you conducted a 10-day investigation in December on this tattoo parlor situation.
Right.
Obviously, not uncover all of the angles on this as we now see.
Right.
Will you reopen the look into memorabilia sales by your players since the first investigation clearly not thorough enough?
No, I would disagree with you. I believe the other investigation was thorough enough relative to those student athletes and that particular case. If you're referring to Jim Tressel and not disclosing and thinking that we should have uncovered that, that to me that's totally separate. And that's what he's talked about. But relative to interviewing all of our other former players, working with the federal investigators on that particular case relative to our current and former players, where many of you were floating names out there that we tracked as well. I feel good about that one. And so, but this one is separate, and there's no way we would have figured this out if we, at the end of the day, hadn't had that opportunity. Now, we talked long and hard about our practice of being expeditious, swift, and responsive to the NCAA, and not acting like other institutions across this country that take forever to investigate. I'm never going to go there. And so we feel comfortable that with the student athletes, we found everything that involves them.
In your thorough investigation, did you interview Coach Tressel?
I can't talk about that either.
But that pertains to the thing that's already been tied up.
You mean as far, yeah, did we talk? Yes, we did. We did. I'm sorry, Rusty, you're right. Yes, we did. Yes, we did.
But at that point, he said he had no knowledge whatsoever of the incidents that involved those players.
That's what he's talking about today.
Jim, there was speculation the last 24 hours about your future. Did at any point did it cross your mind? Did you consider resigning?
No.
Okay. I'm just wondering.
Two more questions.
If the email came in and requested confidentiality, but at that point you hadn't promised it, why did you go ahead and grant it and not just investigate and report at that point? You didn't have an obligation at that point.
I felt an obligation because I could feel in the email that the person had genuine concern for the well-being of our kids and for the gravity of a federal criminal drug trafficking ongoing investigation. So I guess I felt that they were trusting me to think that that was important to keep that confidentiality.